overexposing your photo is super easy. Hell, I've been a professional photographer for years and I still do it to this day. But just because you've got an overexposed or blown out photo doesn't mean you can't edit your way to a good image. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my secrets on how you can repair and fix your overexposed photos by applying this beautiful high key effect in Lightroom. And I'm going to start right now. So firstly, how can we work out if your photo is actually overexposed? Well, luckily Lightroom have got a tool for that called clipping, and it allows you to show any under or overexposed pixels that basically contain no information. Overexposed pixels like this will show up in red, where underexposed pixels will show up in blue. And if I go ahead and click J on our keyboard, which is the shortcut for this, you can see there's a lot of red in my image. The entire sky is red, part of the model and the dress is red, as well as some of the ground is red. So how can we fix this image and turn it more into a high key look? Well, this is what a high key tone or high key effect looks like. Very bright and airy, lots of very light colors, as well as the image almost looks bleached out. So there's not a lot of rich saturated colors within the photo. And actually, I'd say this image is almost there just from straight out of camera. So I only think it needs to be slightly nudged in the right direction. Okay, so let's go ahead and open up the basics panel. Now inside the basics panel, we're gonna do a couple of changes. Now, if you really wanted to fix this, you'd think all it needs to do is just darken a lot of these sliders. But actually, we want to affect the shadows instead to create this high key effect. So let's go ahead over to our exposure first. I'm actually going to go ahead and actually brighten it up. Next up, I'm going to go to my contrast here and I'm going to go ahead and increase it. But I'm only going to increase it subtly because we're going to affect the contrast further when we go ahead into the tone curve later on in this video. Now let's go ahead and really bring down these highlights because they are just very overpowering at the moment. So I'm going to go to my highlights here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that down. I'm probably going to drop it down to around about -60. Again, look at the sky here because there's just no pixels. Look at the surrounding area and that's what we're impacting. Now with the shadows here, to create that high key look, we're going to go ahead and brighten those shadows up. I'm probably brightening it up by around about +30. Now with the whites and blacks, I'm going to go for +10 in the whites and then -10 as you can see in the blacks. Now for texture, clarity and dehaze, I'm going to go for -20 in clarity and then lastly 5% in dehaze. And because we're going to be affecting more colors later on, I'm going to go for 20% vibrance and 10% saturation there. And already it's actually made a pretty decent impact. Sure, it still looks overexposed, but we're actually going to tweak the colors slightly later on in this video. Now, there is also another issue, and I think it's to do with the color temperature. Now, I did shoot this on auto white balance, but I'm finding it's just a little bit too cool, especially when we look into the background, and it just doesn't look very appealing with the model. It's adding a lot of blue to those darker skin tones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my temperature slider here. I'm going to go ahead and move that up. Not by much, probably to around about 5,000 Kelvin, but already I'm thinking that looking a lot better. It's warming up this image, creating a bit more of that high key look. Okay, so let's exit out the basics panel and now let's go to the tone curve. Now in the tone curve, we want to create an S curve. So we're going to brighten up those highlights, but darken those shadows. Again, going for this nice high key effect. So we're going to bring up more information in the highlights, but slightly less you can find in the shadows. So with our tone curve open, let's go to our point curve first. I want to go to roughly where my highlights are, so just beyond the right-hand side of our square here. I'm going to go ahead and slightly bring that up, you can see. And then with the shadows, I'm going to bring that down ever so slightly. I might actually even bring it up slightly, as you can see. So we're going for a very subtle S-curve, not even an S-curve actually, I think, in this photo. So go for something like so. We really want to bring up the overall brightness of this image. But again, the more points you make, the more of a targeted impact you can make. So I might go for something. You can even bring up the blacks if you're finding there's a lot of that in your photo, but there's not much in this image, so it's not going to make a dramatic impact. And that's all we're going to be doing in the tone curve. Let's go ahead and remove some of these colors and creating that high key effect. And to do that, what we're going to be doing is actually using the color mixer tool because it allows us to control the anatomy of our colors, which is hue, saturation, and luminance. So let's go over to our color mixer tool and let's go ahead and open up hue first. So what I'm going to do is just go straight to yellow here. And what I'm going to do is go for 15 yellow, 20 in the green, and then minus 15 in the aqua. And that's pretty much all we're going to be doing. Let's move over to saturation. Now again, let's not impact the reds and oranges. Let's just go straight to yellow. We want to bring a lot of these colors down. So remove saturation from the 6 color bands that you can see. So we're going to go for minus 50 in the yellow, minus 60 in the green, minus 50 in the aqua, minus 40 in the blue, minus 30 in the purple, and lastly, minus 20 in the magenta. And that will create that kind of high key look we can see. So it's removing a lot of those stronger colors while overall not impacting the main skin tones. What you can even do if you really want to emphasize them is actually add in a little bit of reds and oranges, again, bringing it back a little bit more of that saturation, because sometimes it can get lost, especially if you really overshot it, you can really lack in color. So you might have to bring back some of those skin tones. And then lastly, we've got luminance here, not a massive change. I just want to bring back some of that brightness in the skin tones. So I might go for 5 in the red there, 15 in the orange, and then I might actually go for 5 in the yellow you can see here. So again, a very subtle change, but actually it will create a dramatic impact. And you can see if we've got the color mixer tool, if I do the before and after, we've got this really nice high key effect. But there's one more thing I think that will work really well, and that is create a vignette. Now, a very subtle vignette, but it works really nicely with a high key effect. So what I'm gonna do is go off of my color mixer tool and go all the way down to effects. And all I'm gonna do is add in a very subtle post-cropping vignette. I might go for around about minus 20 there. And what I can do is go to my feather here and increase that to around 75, making it nice and subtle. Now, with post-cropping vignette, it might not affect the entire image. There might be areas that you want to brighten and areas that you want to darken. And that's what's really great about masking. We can control what area, we can create local adjustments, which is really handy for high key. So what I'm gonna do is go to my masking panel. I'm simply gonna go to linear gradient, look roughly where the image is, where the highlights are and where the shadows are, and we're just going to emphasize it. So I'm going to go create a nice, strong effect here, go for a linear gradient. So affecting the right-hand portion of our photo, I'm going to go ahead and bring that down because that's roughly where the shadows would be in this image. So I might bring it down by minus 0.75. And I'd say we're pretty much done. Now, sure, we can go a little bit further, but for this tutorial, I really think we have saved this image, and hopefully, we've saved your image too. So what I can do is quickly show you the before, which this image does look pretty ugly, and after. We've saved a lot of those shadows. We've left the highlights alone, although we could probably go a little bit further, but I am really happy with this effect. And after a couple more tweaks, spending another 15-20 minutes on this image, here is the before, and here is the final result. Thank you to all my YouTube members that are currently supporting the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and get some awesome perks, including free Lightroom presets, make sure to go ahead to the link in the description. I've been James for Photo Fever, and I'll catch you guys on Thursday.